creation of a new work and through the kind of creative interpretation that only a contemporary artist can provide. And as a result, every year, 3 pieces, and last year 4, new collaborative videos are made using footage from the Chicago Film Archives collection. As just a little bit of history, you can see I have a lot of papers here. It's going to take a while. The project, like most things at CFA, was collaboratively conceived. In 2010, CFA's executive director, Nancy Watrous, myself, Peter Margasak, Mike Reed, and Allison Cuddy met for drinks, and we started talking about a way to try to get artists into the archive to breathe new life into CFA's collections by commissioning them to do some kind of a creative project. And the project has really evolved and changed over the last 8 years. Last year we worked internationally with artists and an archive based in Italy. But a couple of things have remained consistent. We wanted to always make sure that we gave the artists complete freedom. And in terms of just like giving them artistic license, we wanted to let them make whatever they wanted to make and intervene or step in as little as possible. And we asked that the artist working with sound and with visual material come up with a working methodology together that reflects their individual practices. So the project starts with us at CFA asking the artists to look at films that are streaming from our website and to begin thinking about the kind of piece that they'd like to make. We then ask them to send us ideas, and these can be really vague, prompt words like things like films made by children, or films depicting the south side of Chicago, or anything having to do with magic and the occult. And I'll tip you off, those are all prompts that were provided this year. And then we collectively as an office come up with ideas for films that the artist might want to work with and provide them to them as digital transfers. So the process is very unusual and collaborative in that way as well, between myself and my colleagues, Olivia, Brian, and Nancy, and our kind of collective understanding of the films in CFA's archive, and then with the artists. One thing that I think really sets this project apart from other sonic and visual collaborations is that we create the artist pairs. We choose the artists who work on the project, but in a more unusual and challenging kind of structure, we've paired them up in what we call a kind of blind date. And this has taken different forms over the years, but this year we had a real blind date, double blind. None of these artists had met or worked together before. Our thinking was that this would give them a chance to work with someone they might never have thought they would work with, or might not ever felt they had access to, and then also that it would push them out of any kind of comfort zone and challenge them to collaborate and make work in an entirely new way. So this reflects really one of the only rules of the project, which is that the artists can make whatever they want, but they have to work together and collaborate in a non-hierarchical structure. One of the things that we talked about in that initial brainstorming session was that we didn't want to end up with a kind of music video model in which visual artists are creating videos using CFA's footage for songs or pieces of music that already existed. And then the opposite, we also didn't want the sound artist to be treated as a secondary part of the project, creating a score for an already completed video. So we really wanted the project to be this kind of complete collaboration with both artists, one in which they're given equal ownership over the final piece. And this kind of completely collaborative model has been really easy in many cases and challenging in many others. Sometimes it really works and sometimes it really doesn't. The thing is though that we ask a lot of the artists, and what that yields are complex, beautiful, and really fascinating, interesting results. 3 pieces made by 6 artists are going to screen this evening, and between each of the pieces, I'm going to ask the artists to join me up here and just say a few words about their process and their work. But before I introduce our first artist and piece, I just want to say that the Media Mixer has been the project that I've taken the most pride in for the many years I've been involved with it. It's been incredible to work with so many talented artists and to witness the magic of their process. They see images and connections in these films that we as archivists have seen on rewind benches as physical objects, as strips of film, as transferred digital files. We see them through the archivist lens, and they see them as visual and sonic artists. I'm so consistently surprised and genuinely moved by the perspective they bring to these films that we work so hard to take care of at CFA. It's really been an incredible experience, and I feel so lucky to have worked with such visionary people. So thank you, Media Mixer artists of past, and a huge thank you to the 6 of you who worked so hard this year to bring new life to these films. The first piece this evening is by Amir and Lilianna Zofia Wosko. Lilianna is a classically trained cellist with a primary focus on solo and chamber music performance. She's appeared with classical jazz, new music, and international music ensembles in the Chicago area and abroad, and has performed with the Illinois Philharmonic, the Paderewski Symphony Orchestra and Mira Ensemble, and was a principal cellist of the New North Shore Chamber Orchestra. In her commitment to expanding her repertoire, Lilianna incorporates elements of different musical genres into her style, and has been a part of Alma de Tango Ensemble, Tangata Ensemble, Tamara Music Orchestra, Dolce String Quartet, and Stargate Orchestra. She's been a part of the Music Now concert series at Chicago's Harris Theater for Music and Dance, the Rose of Stambul production at Chopin Theater, Chris Pressing's Thunder Perfect Mind production, and has played with Border Bend Arts Collective at the Baha'i Temple as part of the Demotions with Music series. Actively involved in the Chicago music community, Lilianna has worked and performed with Fred Lomberg-Holm, Frank Rosalie, Matt Ullery, Mike Reed, Tim Daisy, Eric Leonardson, Ben Lamar, Renee Baker, Kahil El-Zabar, and Theaster Gates. She's also released 4 of her own CDs, My Christmas, Edited to Form, Episodes 1 through 12, and the self-titled album, Lilianna Zofia Wosko. Lilianna will be improvising a sonic response to Amir's visual edit this evening, so please join me in welcoming Lilianna.
I have to say. Anyway, welcome everybody. Thank you so much for coming here and supporting us, all of us tonight. I'm awful public speaker, so I'm just going to keep it very, very short. I would just love to thank you for inviting me to be a part of this amazing project. I'm honored, and I cannot wait to do my best tonight. So I hope everybody enjoyed what I'm going to present right now. Thank you so much for coming.
And Amir George is a filmmaker and curator, a programmer at the True False Film Festival, founder of the Cinema Culture, a grassroots film programming organization, and co-founder of Black Radical Imagination, a touring experimental short film series. His films have screened at institutions and festivals, including the Schomburg Center for Research in Black Culture, the Institute of Contemporary Arts, London, Anthology Film Archives, the Glasgow School of Art, the Museum of Contemporary Art in Detroit, the Ann Arbor Film Festival, Trinidad and Tobago International Film Festival, Black Star Film Festival, and the Chicago Underground Film Festival, among many others. So please join me in welcoming Amir. Amir, I'm putting on the spot. I'd like to ask you if you can tell us a little bit about how you approached the project and what kind of footage you were initially attracted to.
Hello everyone. Thank you for being here. To answer your question, Michelle. I was interested in political things, political history, and just things dealing with sound. I didn't really know. I just wanted to see as much as the archive, as much as you all gave me. I wanted to work with that. What the film ended up being is almost like a tribute, like to my grandmother. I'm not gonna reveal why, because I don't really want to film. But yeah, I hold that close to me and thinking about like my ancestors and just the work they did that influenced me in like working with the footage that I had.
And did you discover anything unusual?
Oh yeah, I'm not gonna give it away. I'm gonna just say it's a political thriller.